Governor Cooper, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We know North Carolina is a great place for business, and it's nice to be recognized for the economic wins in this CNBC ranking as the best place for business in the whole country. Very rare to win twice in a row. And a big reason for that, the state is #1 for its workforce, an educated workforce at that. How has North Carolina achieved this?
Well, that's who deserves the credit, the people of North Carolina. We've done it because we have the hardest working, most dedicated, well-trained and educated, diverse workforce in the country. We have chosen to invest in our people, and that's the foundation of our success. And I think it's been fueled by our dynamic community college system. I think it's the best in the country, the best array of public and private universities in the country. Our 4-year HBCUs, nobody has more than North Carolina. And we have the largest manufacturing workforce in the Southeast. So I talk to a lot of CEOs. We obviously spend time trying to convince them to come to North Carolina. That's the first thing they care about, particularly now when there are shortages in many areas. They want to make sure you have the workforce, and CNBC has recognized that North Carolina has that workforce available, and it's because we've invested in our education and training. Our Department of Commerce has a First in Talent program that ties a lot of the training to specifically what businesses need. So we're really on a roll. The people of North Carolina deserve the credit, and I'm excited about this designation today. I think it's going to generate even more jobs for our state.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Did you get any calls today from any CEOs wanting to come?
Oh yeah. A number of them who are glad that they made this choice. They've ended up being some of our best recruiters because in North Carolina, when we recruit a business, we cut the ribbon after they open. We don't leave. We are continuing to be partners with the businesses and the workers there. I mean, ultimately, we want more money to go into the pockets of everyday North Carolinians. And the kind of jobs that we are drawing to North Carolina, the technology jobs, aerospace, biotechnology, clean energy, these jobs pay people more money. The key, though, is that they also require more training than jobs used to require. That's why we need to continue to make significant investments in education, all the way from cradle to career, our early childhood, quality childcare, K through 12, community colleges and universities, and all of our training programs. We must invest in order for us to continue this great momentum that we have in North Carolina right now.
Well, North Carolina has you as a Democratic governor and a Republican-led General Assembly. And today, Senator Phil Berger, a Republican, said the Republicans had the vision to grow the business in the state and overcome partisanship. He said it was despite your obstructionism and vetoes. So what's your response to that?
Well, I'll say that we have all worked together. We've agreed to expand Medicaid. We've agreed to put in a carbon plan that gets us to carbon zero by 2050 in order to attract clean energy companies to North Carolina. And I think it's been our willingness to work together that has gotten us to where we are. And I don't think that we need to get into a blame game when there's a day to celebrate the good things that we have in North Carolina. Where the real rub is, and CNBC pointed this out, is that Republicans have wanted to move us into the culture wars, which not only attack people for who they are and marginalize vulnerable people, but it's also bad for business. It's pretty clear that businesses look at those issues when they're making decisions on where to go. And over the last few years, we've stayed away from that. It's one of the reasons why we have been successful. My vetoes have kept us from going there. We are the #1 state for business, so we don't need to be blaming each other for anything because we've had a very successful few years. What I want to do is to keep it that way. And I think if we can stay out of those culture wars, make sure we fund education like we need to, then North Carolina can continue with its success.
You said you joked with Scott Cohen of CNBC today about where you're going to meet for next year when you get this ranking yet again. What will it take for North Carolina to be #1 3 years in a row?
I certainly would like to see a three-peat, and I think it's going to matter if we continue investing in public education, in our community colleges and our universities. If we can stay away from these culture wars, look, when you do that, you limit your workforce. When people are making decisions about where they want to move and to raise a family, it's important for us to be welcoming and inclusive and diverse. That's what businesses want for the most part as well. If we can continue on that track and turn away from some of these latest bills that the General Assembly has been passing, I think we can get there again next year. But CNBC and other businesses are giving us a warning. We need to stay away from those issues, not only because they're bad for people, it's bad for business.
Governor Cooper, thank you so much for your time and congratulations.
Thanks a lot.